All right, so get this right. You know how we talk about restaurants online, leaving reviews and stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Imagine if you could, like, share the taste of that amazing pasta dish you had, or, like, the feeling of that warm bread in your hands.
Wow.
Virtually.
Okay.
That's kind of what we're diving into today with this whole MetaWOM thing.
I've seen that, yeah.
It's basically word of mouth, right?
Yeah.
But in the metaverse.
Whoa, wild. Yeah, we're talking about taking, like, word of mouth beyond just, text on a screen.
Totally.
And into, like, actual sensory experience. This paper by Mladenovich and the team, they call it, get this, avatar-generated consumption experiences.
Catchy.
Which is a mouthful, I know.
It is.
But basically, it just means your avatar is, like, the one doing the experiencing, right? And then sharing that experience.
So no more reading between the lines of, like, a 4-star review.
Yeah.
You could actually get a feel for, like, what someone means when they say a virtual hotel room is relaxing or a game is intense.
Exactly. And because the metaverse is, well, it's all about immersive experiences, right? MetaWOM has the potential to be way more persuasive than anything we've seen before. I mean, think about it. Reading a review is one thing.
Sure.
But, like, actually feeling present in that virtual space, engaging all your senses, that's different.
It's a game changer. It makes those, what do they call those, travel brochures with, like, the pictures of the beaches.
Yeah.
But imagine if you could actually, like, feel the sand between your toes, hear the waves crashing.
Oh, wow.
All before you even, like, book a flight.
That's the kind of power this could have, especially as the tech, gets more sophisticated. Mladenovich and his team, they really break down these elements, right? The immersion, fidelity, and sociability. They say those are the key factors.
Okay, so let's unpack those a bit. Immersion seems pretty straightforward, right? Like, how real does the virtual experience feel?
Yeah.
But then, what about fidelity?
Oh, good question. So fidelity in this context, it refers to how closely that virtual world, the experience, right?
Right.
How closely it mirrors the real one, like in terms of the actual sensory details. So we're talking high definition visuals.
Okay.
Spatial audio that makes you feel like you're surrounded by the sound.
Wow.
Even haptic feedback so you can, perceive textures.
Hold on. You're saying I could, like, feel the difference between Egyptian cotton sheets and microfiber in the metaverse?
Yeah.
That changes everything.
Exactly. And get this, the higher the fidelity.
Yeah.
The more persuasive the MetaWOM becomes. Because you're not just seeing or hearing about it, you're experiencing it firsthand, even if it's, virtual.
Wow. Okay. So high fidelity equals high impact. Got it. But what about the sociability part of this whole thing?
Oh, that's where the true word of mouth, the real social aspect comes in.
Okay.
It's all about how we connect and interact with others in the metaverse, right?
Right.
Sharing those sensory experiences with each other. Imagine, like, joining a virtual cooking class with your friends.
Okay.
Where you can not only see the ingredients, but you can smell the spices, you can feel the dough in your hands.
I can't even imagine.
That shared experience, that sense of community, that's what can make this so powerful.
It's like the difference between, like, reading a restaurant review online.
Yes.
Versus, like, having a friend describe their meal to you, in detail.
Yes.
The passion, the nuances, it's all there.
Exactly. And this is where it gets even more interesting, right? Mladenovich and his team, they developed this whole typology of MetaWOM, which basically maps out how all these different levels of immersion, fidelity, and sociability, they all kind of create this whole spectrum of experiences and levels of influence.
A typology of MetaWOM. Oh, okay, you've officially piqued my curiosity. So paint me a picture here. What does this, like, spectrum of experiences actually look like?
Okay, so imagine this, right?
Okay.
On one end, you've got, like, a low fidelity, low sociability experience.
Okay.
Like, say you're browsing a virtual clothing store.
Right.
But the graphics are kind of fuzzy,
Yeah.
You can't quite make out the texture of the fabrics.
Right.
And you're basically alone.
Okay, so not super immersive or engaging. I've been there, done that with, like, those early VR shopping attempts.
Exactly. Now, contrast that with the other end of the spectrum, right?
Okay.
High fidelity, high sociability.
Gotcha.
Imagine attending, like, a virtual music festival.
Okay.
With your friend. You're right there in the crowd. You can feel the beat of the music.
Wow.
You can see, like, the sweat glistening on the lead singer's face. You hear the roar of the audience all around you.
Whoa. I'm getting chills just thinking about that.
Okay.
I can see how that level of detail, that social interaction, it would make a huge difference in like how believable the experience is, how impactful.
Precisely. And it's not just about like entertainment or anything. Imagine like a virtual farmer's market,
Okay.
but with like incredibly realistic produce. You can practically smell the ripe tomatoes.
Oh.
You can feel their weight in your hand.
Yeah.
You can even like hear the farmer talking about how he grew them.
Okay, that's blowing my mind a little bit. So instead of just seeing like a picture of an apple, I could examine it from all angles.
Yeah.
Almost like I'm holding it in my hand.
Exactly. And that's just the surface, right? Think about virtual real estate tours. You walk through a house. You can feel the warmth of the sun streaming through the windows.
Wow.
You can experience the flow of a room before you even like step foot inside. The applications, they're endless.
This is huge. But with all this talk about hyper-realistic experiences and stuff, it makes you wonder, how do we know what's real and what's not?
Right.
Like, how do we avoid getting tricked by, misleading or even like downright fake MetaWOM?
That's the million-dollar question. And it's something that, researchers are really grappling with right now. I mean, as we move towards these incredibly persuasive, like sensory-rich experiences,
Yeah.
establishing trust, that becomes more critical than ever.
It's like those online reviews, You never know if it's legit or if someone's just trying to like game the system.
Yeah.
But with this,
Yeah.
the stakes seem so much higher.
Absolutely. And because, MetaWOM, it's so intertwined with our like digital identities,
Right.
it could have this really profound impact on how we even just perceive each other,
Yeah.
and build trust in these online spaces.
Totally.
And this is what's so fascinating about this whole new set of ethical questions we need to consider as like a society.
It's like we're like building a whole new social contract or something.
Right.
For the metaverse.
Right.
Figuring out how to like navigate trust and authenticity in this whole uncharted territory.
It is uncharted, yeah. And what's so fascinating to me, it's not just about like individual experiences anymore. Reading this research, it got me thinking, like, how could MetaWOM actually like impact brands, businesses?
Oh, totally. Forget like billboards and jingles, right?
Right.
Imagine a world where a brand's reputation is built on these immersive, like shareable experiences.
Exactly. We could start seeing brands creating these like incredible virtual spaces, but they're designed specifically for MetaWOM.
Oh.
Like imagine, right?
Yeah.
Test driving a car.
Okay.
But you're in a virtual showroom.
Right.
You can feel the leather of the seats. You can smell that new car scent. You can even hear the engine like roar to life.
Oh, wow.
All through, your VR headset.
And then you could share that experience with your friends.
Yes.
They could practically like climb into the virtual passenger seat with you.
Exactly.
Talk about like powerful marketing.
Right. It would completely change things. Suddenly that line between like advertising and actual genuine word of mouth.
Yeah.
It gets really blurry, which, presents a whole other set of challenges.
It's almost like we need like a new set of consumer literacy skills or something.
Yes.
For the metaverse.
Yeah.
Like how to actually like critically evaluate these experiences, these hyper-real experiences.
Yeah.
How to spot manipulation, how to make sure you're not, getting swept up in the hype.
I completely agree. Yeah. And that's where I think that sociability factor we talked about.
Okay.
It's crucial. We need to be able to like connect with diverse communities,
right?
Get a bunch of different perspectives on these virtual experiences.
Just like we do in the real world, basically.
Exactly.
So it's not just about the tech, like, getting better.
It's about us.
It's about us becoming more discerning, more critical.
Yes. In these virtual spaces.
Well, this deep dive has been a wild ride.
Yeah.
Who knew that something like as simple as word of mouth could get so, I don't know, complex, so nuanced,
right?
So potentially transformative.
It really is a testament to like human ingenuity, isn't it?
Yeah.
We're constantly finding new ways to like connect with each other, share our experiences, and the metaverse with all this like promise of immersive sensory experiences. That's just the newest frontier.
Well, I'm both excited and a little terrified to see where it all goes, honestly.
Me too.
But hey, thanks for joining us for this incredible deep dive into MetaWOM. Until next time, stay curious out there.